NXT starts off with Stephanie Vaquer and Ava. They're in the ring, and she announced that she is going to vacate her North American Championship. And then Ava ends up saying that the reason that they done this was because it was unfair for her to hold both championships, and that NXT talent is too strong for basically for one woman to hold both titles. She ends up saying that a new champ will be declared at Stand and Deliver in a 6-woman ladder match, and ends up saying the qualifying matches ended up beginning on tonight's show. So we did get I think we got two qualifying women's matches. Then after Ava says that, you get Stephanie. She gets on the microphone. Then she ends up saying that the reason why she's going to then she ends up saying that she's only going to vacate the title if she gets to pick her opponent, which I was very confused by. Pick her opponent for Stand and Deliver, because at first Ava says that the reason that they both agreed on, because she said that they both agreed on this. Then Stephanie ends up saying that she's only going to do it unless she picks her opponent. I was very confused by that because I felt like that didn't make sense. It's like, did you guys talk about it or did you not talk about it? I was very confused by that. But Ava, of course, ends up agreeing to the terms. Then you get Jordan Grace. She comes out, says a few words. She wants a title match. Then you get Jada Parker comes out. She mentions last week, mentions that she would have won against Stephanie if Jordan Grace didn't cost her the match, and that she wants her opportunity. Jordan Grace responds, ends up saying that Jada Parker ruined her opportunity. She fumbled, and that she doesn't know much about championships because she never held one. Then you end up getting Jordan Grace and Jada Parker. They brawl with Jordan Grace standing tall. Okay, I see what they're doing here, and I don't like it. The reason why I don't like it is because it's a very predictable outcome. I like that Jada Parker is getting pushed in the main event scene as she should, but the issue I have with this is that it's a very predictable outcome because we all know that Jada Parker is not beating Jordan Grace. Like, I just don't see a world where they even put Jada Parker. The only way I can see it is if they make it a triple threat, but I don't see the point of making it a triple threat. I don't know. It will make the story more entertaining if they make it a triple threat, but it's such a predictable outcome that I don't like it. Jada Parker, in my opinion, should be going after the North American Championship. Now, she is talented enough for the NXT title, but it's so predictable that she's not winning it. That's why I don't like it. Where the North American Championship, I will argue she's the most ready and she's the most logical person to go after that title, because the only person that should be going after the women's North American Championship who should be winning it are really Jada Parker and Zarya. That's it. Those are the only two women. If it ain't those two women, it makes no sense. But it looks like Jada Parker is not going to be in the qualifying matches for the North American Championship, so she's going to be in the NXT title picture where she's obviously going to lose and have no shot. So we'll see how this plays out. But I don't really like the idea of Jada Parker and Jordan Grace. It has been entertaining, yes, but it's such a predictable outcome. I don't know. Maybe they surprise me, but I just don't see a world where Jada Parker actually wins this feud, or wins even if she gets inserted to the match. I just don't see where she wins at Stand and Deliver, but I could be totally wrong. But we'll see how this plays out. After this win, I'm getting the first women's qualifying match for the ladder match at Stand and Deliver. For the Women's North American Championship, Zarya versus Lash. I'm not going to go that in depth on this match. Zarya picks up the victory. It only makes sense for Zarya to advance. Only makes sense. Like I said, she should be one of the few people that actually should be the one winning. If Jada Parker is not going to be in the match, which I'm assuming most likely, Zarya should be the clear-cut favorite. No if, answer, but there is nobody else that should even be close to winning this at all. There's no other women that should be even close. It should be Zarya or maybe Soruka. You can make an argument for Soruka, but other than those three women I named, Jada, Sol, or Zarya, nobody else should even be in the discussion. After this, we end up getting Trick Williams. He was cutting a promo, he was basically talking about, the struggle he's been through trying to get back to the top, and that he's still the main guy in NXT. Then you get Javon. He comes out and he says that he finally understands who Trick Williams is and what he's going through, because he said around the same time last year, he ends up saying that Trick Williams was him. He ends up saying that he wants the number one spot, but unlike Trick, he doesn't need to break out of someone else's shadow. Trick ends up responding, ends up saying that right now you're in his shadow right now, and he ends up saying that you don't know anything about being NXT champion. You don't know about the pressure it holds, defending the title, etc. Then Javon Evans ends up responding back and ends up saying that right now, Trick Williams is Carmelo Hayes, and that everything that Carmelo told him last year, he is telling him this year. I actually like that he called him Carmelo Hayes, because he isn't completely wrong. There are a bit of similarities because Carmelo Hayes did Carmelo Hayes did started to go a little crazy once he lost the NXT Championship, because that's when he did the whole attack on Trick Williams. He started blaming Ilya. So there are a bit of similarities with Carmelo and Trick Williams, with them after losing the NXT title, them not being themselves. Um, he ends up, which I do love. I love the callback of calling him Carmelo Hayes, because there are a bit of similarities. Because Trick Williams, he is I wouldn't say he's turning completely into Carmelo Hayes, but there are some similarities there. Then you get Oba, he comes out, says a few words. Then you get Ava, who finally makes it official that this is going to be a triple threat match at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Championship. Then you get all of them fighting in the ring and they all brawl. Oba was the one that stood tall. Then you end up getting the lights cut off, and we already know what that means. Dark State comes out. They end up attacking Oba, Javon, and Trick Williams. This was great. This was really good. I love what they're doing here. And then next week, there's going to be a six-man tag between Dark State, Oba, Javon, and Trick, which I enjoy. I'm assuming Dark State has to win that match, because why would they lose their first official match? And plus, they have a perfect argument. It's going to be very obvious what they're probably going to do. They're going to have Trick, Javon, and Oba all disagree, all can't get along because they're all feuding. Probably going to be constant tags, constant, them tagging themselves in. That's going to allow Dark State to pick up the victory. I like what they're doing here. This is great. And I was very iffy of the whole Trick, Javon, Oba feud, because I didn't think Javon really needed to be in this feud, but he made this feud better. He actually made this feud a lot better. Now, I will say this feud, even though it's supposed to be about Oba Femi and the NXT title, this feels more like a Javon Evans and Trick Williams feud than it does a triple threat. But that's mainly because the main focus has been mainly on Javon trying to prove himself to Trick Williams. I like what they're doing here. And I can't wait to see what Dark State does in the ring. Can't wait to see. Well, we already know how Dion Lennox is in the ring, but the other three, we got to see how they are. Which three are going to be in the ring in a six-man tag. But I'm very interested to see how this plays out. This could go in a lot of ways. You could do an upset with Javon winning at Stand and Deliver, or you could just have Oba Femi retain. I don't see a world with Trick Williams win. I just don't. Unless he's going to stay at NXT for another year, then maybe I could see him winning it with a heel run. But I don't really see the reason for Trick Williams to stay any longer after Stand and Deliver. But I could be wrong. After this, we end up getting Roxanne Perez versus Kalani Jordan for the qualifying match, North American Championship. This was a solid match. Kalani ends up picking up the victory. I will say this. I knew Kalani was going to win because there was no reason for Roxanne to win this match. No offense. Roxanne doesn't have anything to do. To be honest, I don't even know why they're even booking Roxanne still, because there's nothing for her to do in NXT. To be honest, I would just have her not be on TV, because I know she's on the main roster, but she's not on the main. They're doing the Braun Breaker treatment where she's on the main roster, but they're also having her appear in NXT. I would just have her not on TV, because if you're not going to have anything planned for her, there's really no reason to be on here. Now, what's that is, I don't understand why she was in this qualifying match, because because typically when you beat someone like Roxanne Perez, this should elevate you to some degree. This should be like a major thing. But this didn't really do anything for Kalani, mainly because this wasn't built up. This was just a regular random match. If this was more built up, this would have made more sense. But since they just randomly put this into a qualifying match, it really didn't do anything. Kalani could be one of the people for the North American Championship, but I do not want to see another reign. Not now. Now, she is a new person, so this new gimmick could be a little different, but I think you need to build on this gimmick a little bit more before we give her the championship. But she does advance, which I do think was the right call, because Roxanne doesn't need the North American Championship. She doesn't need to be in the match. She really just needs to be on the main roster whenever they do pull the trigger and have her have stories. But Kalani Jordan advances, so right now it's going to be Zarya, Kalani Jordan for right now. I'm assuming Soraka is going to be in the match because they did have a segment where she does announce that she's going to have a qualifying match. So I'm assuming they're going to play that angle as well. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. Then we get the main event. Ricky Saints versus Shawn Spears for the North American Championship. I was very shocked by this. Ricky Saints actually won and is now your new North American Champion. North American Champion. But then afterwards, you're going to be getting Ethan Page attacking Ricky Saints. I like it and I don't like it. I like the idea of Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, because I'm assuming that has to be the Stand and Deliver match. I feel like that's the only way, because we don't have much time until Stand and Deliver, so I feel like that has to be the plan. Now, I am a little disappointed because it's like Shawn Spears lost this very quickly, but I do understand to a degree why they did this. I'm just shocked that they have Ricky Saints win this quickly. I thought they was gonna wait until Stand and Deliver to do it to give it that big moment, but he ends up winning it here. Um, so I'm a bit mixed on it, but overall, if we're getting Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints at Stand and Deliver, I can't be mad at it. Overall, this was a really good show, really impressive show. I really enjoyed the show. But you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.